Hello, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So, obviously, The Mandalorian dropped yesterday. We're going to be talking some spoilers for that. I'm sure everyone who's worried about spoilers probably would have seen it, but if you haven't, just click off the video. We have to talk about spoilers because we're going to be discussing Season 3, obviously elements of Season 2, which set up an argument, effectively, for Season 3 not happening, or so people are claiming anyway. And this all is wrapped up and roped in with a bunch of other rumours that have been circulating. But it's really important to kind of dissect them all and look at Disney as a business and the financials behind it. So we're going to get into all of that today. Before you do, Jasper's had a haircut. Doesn't he look pretty? What a handsome little chapo. Anyway, moving on. Obviously, look, the end of The Mandalorian Season 2 was absolutely staggering. It was fantastic. It was really, really, really good episode. And in the episode, in the post-credit scene, they announced that they would be getting the book of Boba Fett, right? Now, there are a few distinctions to make very clear here when we discuss The Mandalorian and Boba Fett mini-series or series or movie, whatever it is that they're looking to do. Because this is what's confusing everyone, or that's what everyone is mistaking and rumouring to now be Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And we're going to look at specific quotes and kind of discuss them all. Jasper, goddammit. So what we're going to be doing... So obviously, right, The Mandalorian has been painted as chapters. Okay, now chapters obviously come in the form of media being a book. So you can't have The Mandalorian, you know, as a season being stated as chapters, because it's in The Mandalorian is the book that these chapters, that these episodes are called, are in. The book of Boba Fett is something else entirely. Like, we can all understand basic definitions, yeah? Yeah? Cool. Perfect. There's really no reason to speculate anything past that, in fairness. Basic definitions are there for a reason. You know, chapters are there, with it held within a book. Just like a paragraph is held within a chapter. You know? So, the book of Boba Fett, just on basic definition terms, is something different. Now, LRM Online have what they claim to be an exclusive from some sources at Lucasfilm. And I think that they've put this down really quite smartly in terms of the execution with the quotes and things. So I wanted to go through this article because it helps bolster, or it helps convey my thought process and my opinion on the future of The Mandalorian. Now, obviously, this all stemmed from rumours that Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, was left. He quit halfway through the season because he couldn't take his helmet off, or some nonsense like that. As if he went the whole of Season 1 comfortable in the suit and then suddenly came back and then it wasn't comfortable. It's just nonsense. It's garbage. And he took his helmet off about this, well, yeah, once more than in Season 1, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was once more. And each with purpose as well. And a lot of people state, well, it's because of his creed and that's why he's not doing it, or that's why it's dumb that he took it off, and that's why it indicates that, yes, Pedro Pascal definitely is upset on the set of The Mandalorian. And I disagree. Like, I think if you truly think that, then you don't understand basic narrative structure. It's all been leading to this. He has claimed time and time again that his creed, his religion is super important to him, but he's also been displaying more and more humanizing emotions towards Grogu, which adds to character development. It reveals how much he cares. If you don't have something to compare against, how do you get the emotional weight behind his actions? You know, how do you get the sense of what he's doing is actually truly important to him, other than just his mission? Because remember, he was given this mission. You're a clan of two. You must do this. So if you didn't have the positioning of it's against his creed to do these things, where's the emotional weight? Where's the thought process of, hey, goddamn, this really means something to this guy now. This is above and beyond, because that's what it is, right? He's going above and beyond what he was tasked with, because he truly cares for the character. Grogu, the little baby Yoda. So anyway, moving on, right, so here's the exclusive anyway. LRM reached out to their source and they got some word back. Now, they were told that basically there will be a season 3 of The Mandalorian, though not sure on the exact episode count. The Book of Boba Fett is not a full 8 episode season, and it will be released in December of 2021. Now we already know they've announced Mandalorian season 3 in December of 2021. They've already announced that. They said Christmas, basically. Now, their source pointed out that Kathleen Kennedy never dated The Mandalorian Season 3 as releasing December 21. Instead, she said the next chapter. The next chapter in The Mandalorian. A book is not a chapter. It's really important to get these distinctions right. And look, if they change the definitions, then that's on them. That's them being dumb with definitions, right? That's them being ridiculously stupid in their titling. From what we can surmise, that The Mandalorian Season 3 may be pushed into 2022. Now, this is where I actually disagree. But then they also go on to state something which I agree with. Is that and Robert Meyer Burnett, a friend of the channel, actually stated this as well. And I firmly agree with this. Like, I firmly believe this is the case. They're just going to film them back to back. Right? They've got the actors there. You can quite literally, especially if it's a mini-series, the Boba Fett thing's a mini-series, you can film that in the morning, and then in the afternoon you can start filming stuff for The Mandalorian. It cuts production time, cuts production money, you're just filming back to back. It absolutely will cut down on price, and that's what Disney is so, like, what they're going to hone in on now. And that's something which you need to bear in mind, is that in several quarterly earnings calls with Disney, they've stated how they're hemorrhaging cash. So why would they cut loose on something which has been their front runner? It's what they launched Disney Plus with. Let's just look at basic business terms. Now again, I could be completely wrong here, and I'll put my hands up if I am, but that doesn't make any sense in terms of a business structure. They launched Disney Plus with The Mandalorian, right? They are hemorrhaging cash at the moment, and they need to bolster Disney Plus. If they just push it to one side and cancel the show and just get off on to other stories and things like that, what are you going to do? That's super dumb. It's a really, really dumb move. Now, what's a smart move is you go, right, well, we've got this story, the Book of Boba Fett, books. We've got the next chapter in the Book of the Mandalorian, because that's how definitions work. And then from there, you pair them up together. For something which would cost you 2 times the amount, it's now going to cost you 1.5, 1.25, something like that. You're going to not half the cost, but you know what I mean? You're going to limit the cost of production. Why? Because everyone's there. It's already running. Just run it concurrently with one another. That's what I think they're doing. Now, Boba Fett it's not officially anywhere been confirmed that it's filming, actually. It's not officially been confirmed anywhere. There's rumours that it's filming, but these rumours can also be the fact that they're seeing Boba Fett around a lot more because they're filming them back to back. Now, a lot of people have pointed to the fact that they've not officially announced that The Mandalorian Season 3 is in production. No, but they did officially announce back in April that it was in pre-production for some time. That was already confirmed. Mandalorian Season 3, back in April of this year, all during the COVID stuff, was 100% in pre-production for a long time by Jon Favreau's reckoning. And that was reported on Variety. Good source. They have good sources. They're pretty reliable. So if they've been in pre-production for a really, really long time, they're mapping out how they can get this thing together. Bearing in mind, on top of that, you've got the fact that the Boba Fett series is said to be a prequel mini-series to fill in the gaps, right? Which then, and again, if we were thinking about them running back-to-back narratively, so they're filming back-to-back, they're both going to release in the same month, right? You have the fact that in the post-credit scene, it sets up him now here, on Tatooine, in what formerly was Jabba's palace. If the prequel series if the series, the Book of Boba, is a prequel series, right, and then The Mandalorian Season 3 picks up afterwards here with him, Din Djarin, all walking in, doing another plan, that sort of thing. That makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Perfect narrative sense, anyway. They do have to kind of fill in the gaps. There'll be a lot of people that don't really understand it. And I think this makes perfect sense. I think this works really, really well. I think when you kind of lay it out like that, especially when you look in just basic definition terms, it starts to become more clear. Business, in terms of business, it makes perfect sense. They film them back to back. They release them back to back because it's a story structure as well. I think this is the case. Now, again, remember, they've not once announced that this is filming. It's not confirmed. It's just rumours. So if you're basing it all on rumours, it could... Well, yeah, I mean, it could be. But it could also be that they're just filming it back to back. Now, a lot of people are like, well, where's the Mandalorian Season 3 even going to go? Because they don't have Grogu. There's so much stuff that they're setting up. You had Moff Gideon, actor, Giancarlo Esposito, I think is his name, came out and discussed how he was going to be in the Mandalorian Season 3. He's already teased his character arc. Already. If Pedro Pascal was super bent out of shape about all of this, why would he be going, yeah, I hope I come back in other shows? On one hand, the people that purport these rumours can't sit there and say, well, this absolutely confirms it, whilst also saying, but he also really wants to come back as well. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And also, if you're saying that the fact, how the story has gone thus far indicates that the rumours are completely true, that he's bitched and moaned and he quit halfway through the season because he wants to take his mask off more, you're revealing yourself as someone that just doesn't understand narrative. That's character development. I don't know what to say to you. Like, it's real basic character development, in fact. Like, it's like writing 101. Again, another friend of the channel, Script Doctor, a writer for films, series and the like, will absolutely clarify that. So again, it's kind of one of those difficult things, the reason that people are coming up with this kind of opinion on it. Now, the Book of Boba, if it does just release and we don't get the Mandalorian Season 3, that still doesn't mean that the Book of Boba Fett is Mandalorian Season 3. When it's rumoured heavily to be a prequel series, even if it's not a prequel series, that doesn't mean anything. We've had confirmed and announced we are getting a Season 3 of The Mandalorian. That's already been confirmed after, and again, this is really important to note, because remember, we had all these rumours come out. Mandalorian Season 3 was confirmed after they'd wrapped filming, because they'd already begun pre-production. And it was The Mandalorian Season 3. This is dubbed The Book of Boba. It's not a chapter, is it? The Mandalorian chapter is not... It's not a chapter in the Book of Boba Fett, is it? It's the Book of the Mandalorian, and we're seeing the chapters. So anyway, thought that was pretty basic. And then this article says similar things, However, here is how I see things. There will be a Season 3 of The Mandalorian, and it will begin a new adventure for Din Djarin. Well, he's got the Darksaber. Bo-Katan wants the Darksaber. He's already agreed to help her rebuild Mandalore in payment for getting Grogu back, so on and so forth. It's all there. All the framework's there for the next season. Why wouldn't they just continue that? And all the framework's there to continue past that for the other shows as well. Now, whether The Mandalorian Season 3 will hit in December of 2021 like the Book of Boba Fett, well, I'm less sure about that. You see, the fans don't think that Disney would have the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian Season 3 running at the same time. Why? That doesn't make any sense. If you start with the Book of Boba Fett and then you tail end, because the narrative tells it, into The Mandalorian, great. You've got all these other Star Wars shows releasing. Why wouldn't you have more? They're in the same universe, but they're different stories, they're different tone, they're different styles. This is, to say, well, it doesn't make sense, why would they do that? Well, why would they release several bloody Marvel movies in the same year? That doesn't make any sense either, then, does it? Your logic is flawed when you start kind of picking and choosing why one works for one and not the other, when the reasoning is exactly the same. Now, they note here, remember that we have a quote Variety from Jon Favreau stating that filming would begin on The Mandalorian Season 3 before the end of this year. We also have unconfirmed reports that the Book of Boba Fett already begun filming. We also have unconfirmed reports, though from a trade, that the Book of Boba Fett was designed as a prequel miniseries. So again, completely different things. Again, I could be wrong, Now they indicate here that they're going to be filming back to back, and that's what I think. It'll slash production costs. The stories are there set up. It makes perfect sense. And if the narrative is going to push into one another, why wouldn't you do that? People will be lapping it up because they've laid the framework for people to enjoy it. But remember, it's not like the sequel trilogy that people absolutely hate, where they've really got to take time to be careful with it and to get things absolutely 100% right, because they've just hashed out the story each time. This has been carefully planned out by Jon Favreau. Very carefully, in fact. Every single piece of the puzzle is there to make a good series. It's not like the sequel trilogy that they just made up as they went along. So anyway, that's my thinking. I just think they're gonna release it back to back. I think they're filming back to back as well. I think the framework's there. I think even if you're doing the Book of Boba Fett as like an interim story, and it's actually set, current timeline, that's fine. That's fine. It makes more sense because you can have a bit of a time jump and have Grogu come back. So there you go. That's my thinking. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We've already had confirmed we will get a season 3, so I don't see why we're now thinking that we won't. Could be completely wrong, but I think the logic is sound anyway that we should be getting one. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.